What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm Envy.
And we are recapping and reviewing American Horror Story Apocalypse. Season finale, episode 10, and it's called...
Apocalypse Then.
Then, instead of now.
So not now, then.
Then.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for our ending because we are going to go through our final recap roundups.
Yes.
Our best moments, our MVPs, our best lines. I have so many because it was such a lit episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, stick around for that at the end.
And for anybody joining us for the very first time, thank you so much for coming through. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And for anybody who's coming back for the second, third, fourth, or whatever times, thank you so much for coming back. Let's listen and enjoy.
I'm like feeling so many feelings. Wow. And I'm like very emotional.
Yeah.
And I cried at one point.
Okay.
And then,
damn, girl.
And then I like was trying to hide my like tears for the rest of it. I don't know why. It was just really like moving and really powerful. And I didn't know what to expect going into this finale. I feel like sometimes AHS like they botch their finales. Yeah, and I don't know. I just got a lot of really amazing vibes from it. Yeah. And a lot of the cast was all there.
Yeah.
I feel like they satisfied us for sure. Like they were like, guys, we have to get lit for this episode.
Yeah.
Make everyone happy. And then, you know.
But also, like, did they make us happy?
For me, it was. I think I got everything that I needed for, like, all the storylines to be, like, concluded. And, like, ending it off the way they did, especially with such a good, like, little, like, ooh, see, it's not done yet kind of thing. Yeah. So I love that. It wasn't like, oh, rainbows and, like, fairy tales. Like, we're all, like, happy now.
It ends off with, like, a bit of a...
Yes.
Like
so I definitely feel like it was perfectly ended. And, yeah.
So... what does this mean for the rest of American Horror Story, do you think?
That's the thing, too. I don't know. I think they left it open where, like, if they ever want to revisit this world again with, like, the witches and, like, you know, the devil, I think they can.
Yeah.
But I think moving forward, like, they are probably going to move into a different direction next season, too, right? Like, they're not going to come back to this.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be weird if it just keeps being, like,
the
fighting the Antichrist storyline. Yeah, I'm like, damn, if I was Mallory, I'd be like stressed out the entire fucking time. So let's get through the episode. Yeah. I think I did enjoy it. I will say that I really enjoyed it. It was a great watch, but at the same time, there are definitely moments that are like a little loose.
I never know if you're going to like it or not.
Why me?
Because I thought for sure you'd be lit. Like, I feel like we got all our girls back.
We did.
I'm like, oh my god, like J-Lag's gonna freak out, and then you're like, no.
No, it's not that I didn't hate it, or it's not that I hated it. There are so many moments in it that were like, oh, really, guys? Like, we're doing this
But
now?
I still bought those. I guess I bought it.
I guess I just, like, try. I had to go along with it a little bit more. But, no, it was a great episode. And I love the way that it ended and the way that everything kind of closed itself off. I'm really excited to go through the episode with you guys. So stay tuned and keep commenting as you guys are listening to this because we are doing this live. All right. So it starts right back off in Silicon Valley. Yeah. And it shows Miss Venable meeting Myrtle Snow for the first time. Yeah. So Myrtle comes in. She's like...
Myrtle's putting in the work.
She's putting in the work. So she's like, I want to meet your people. And Miss Venable kind of goes after her and she says, you don't have an appointment. And they have this like kind of like back and forth about like each other's hair. She's like... I could just talk about your hair all day.
Yeah, like what is up with your hair?
You don't have an appointment, so I have nothing to say except talk about your hair. And at one point in time, like Myrtle's just like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna put a damn spell on you, like I'm done with this.
I have to say, like Myrtle Snow was effing amazing this season. Like I feel like she was so much better in this season than like the original Coven season.
I agree.
Like she was so legendary. Like I can't even describe. All my lines are basically from her.
Yeah, it's so
like
true.
She was just amazing, and not even just like her quick sassy lines. Like she was so strong with like offering Cordelia support, and like she was just always there for everyone.
Yeah. She really is one of the
like more than Fiona ever was.
MVPs of this
whole
season, for sure. She says something with her hair. She's like, my hair is a term that remains to be understood or something like that. And anyway, she puts her in a spell and she just walks right through. Yeah. She meets Jeff and Mutt, who are kind of just figuring out where all the outposts are going to go. It's like
so much closer now to like the end where like they have a map. Right, of like the outposts. They have like the
lists of people. Yeah. I think it's still from time because we do see Coco later too and she's like still like in time.
So yeah.
So anyway, so they're going through it and you hear that like Langdon wants Miss Mead to be in one of the outposts. So we're like, okay, fine. So we kind of start to understand like how everything
started, and that he didn't. He wanted her to like
have
erase
mind weight.
Yeah,
right, SD card wiped.
Yeah,
and Myrtle just walks in, and Mutt tries to actually shoot her, but then she like stops him with a spell, and she basically says, Coco Vanderbilt's family is going to try to come in and pay you in. You better say yes. And they're like, okay, cool. And then so we know how that happens.
So everything was set up.
Everything gets set up, which is really nice.
Yeah. Which is what we were sort of like assuming.
Yeah, and you even said
couple
it like
of episodes
way back
ago.
when. You said that you know it would be really cool if Coco was her
all
protector
set in place. And I think even some of our listeners commented and said like, guys, this is what's gonna happen. It's all set up.
What did you guys think of this kind of like reveal as it was going?
Let's talk about it when they do the Coco part, because I love this part. It was so
one of Myrtle's sassy lines is planning the end of the world over a box of hot wings.
Yeah,
like it's very
she just
interesting.
Calls out there like
So
like the douchiness. Yeah.
So anyway, she decides on where everybody's going to be in California. She like opens up like the itinerary to see everybody is, and so it's going to be at the boys' school. Right? They decide that's where it's
like
gonna
Outpost 3 is going to be underground.
Right, where the old boys' schools, aka like where the warlocks all died.
Like shout out to the warlocks for not appearing once in this entire finale. Like they were like, if there was a middle between MVP and LVP, like they would take it, because it's like you guys are neither, but you guys should have been there.
You should have, but they were dead.
Can you believe it? That not one of them survived though. That's kind of sad.
And you don't see them in the future either, which is like
yeah.
Like, and that's
that's actually pretty tight.
Anyway, we'll talk about that. We can talk about it now. Actually, you know what? That's a really good point, and I made it last episode too. I was really hoping that we were gonna get this, mixed school of dark arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this non-separation, and maybe it's gonna happen in the future with Mallory as the new Supreme.
But they could have shown it. They could have shown something.
They could have shown it.
At least Behold, maybe just being in there for one thing, especially in the present.
Like even just visiting, just being like, "Hey girls, like how's it going up in here?"
They were a huge chunk of the first season, and then they kind of just weren't inserted at all in the finale.
Like why introduce them at all in the first place? Like it kind of didn't make any sense. So. Anyway, so then it cuts back to the swamp, and the rest of the girls, except for freaking Misty Day, who basically was the most useless witch of this entire storyline.
She just had a Stevie Nicks concert. She's like still on tour.
Personalized Stevie Nicks concert, and she fucking fucked off. And I was pretty annoyed about it.
They didn't know where to put her.
I think that they could have placed her somewhere, but they didn't.
But there's so many people that they have to place everywhere.
I was kind of annoyed by the way that they brought her back, but like she literally became the most useless character of the entire season. Like Lily Rabe is more than that, and she.
No, I know you're right.
She brought people, but she was able to bring back people from the dead. Like that's a pretty freaking amazing gift. And I'm just telling you right now, there's a few things that Cordelia needed to do and couldn't get her there that Misty could have done in like a second.
I don't know.
I was a little annoyed about that.
I mean, if real talk, they could have totally erased like Mallory's character and just had Misty Day maybe be that like
for
person.
Sure.
Or like kind of but they didn't. They kind of just added a new character in there completely. So with Coco as well. So like
I want to know
just
you guys'
adding
thoughts on
people
that too, because I just think that like it was kind of bull.
Yeah,
like it didn't make any sense why they're the only ones that pop up. Like where Misty literally ran away with Stevie Nicks, they couldn't find her, and then she just died during the apocalypse. Like she couldn't come back.
They didn't call each other.
Like they didn't call her on a cell phone and be like, "You'll come through." Like the world is ending.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how that's the situation that we had to deal with Misty. Because she could have fixed a lot of things, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So the one thing that I wanted to know, too, is how did they find out about the plan?
What plan?
Like, how did they find out about this nuclear plan? Like, did Myrtle have an inkling?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't explained last episode at all. It ends off with, like, the group of people, right?
Don't they find out from Jeff and Mutt?
How? From Myrtle? But Myrtle doesn't. How did she know? Like, did she have some sort of like spell on anybody? Like, there's no connection there. Anyway, if you guys found something, let us know. But it didn't make any sense to me. But anyway, Cordelia basically says, like, it's all about you guys trying to figure this out, and we need to, like, come together. She looks to Coco and she's like, listen, you're going to, like, be super, super, super important. And it's exactly what we were saying with her role. And it was more than her just being a calorie counter. She's going to get into the bunker and she's going to make sure that Mallory's with her. She's going to protect her.
Like, even Madison was like, you're gonna give, like, the calorie counter a freaking, like, the biggest role of basically humanity. Yeah. Like, she's there to save Mallory.
Which is cute.
I had mentioned this early on, and it just felt like it made sense. Like, it felt like it was going to be this beautiful relationship between the two, and there was so much more to it than what it was.
And honestly, they had a very amazing moment at the end of the scene.
Like, this is when I cried.
Yeah. So, anyway, so they say that we're going to put identity spells on everybody so they don't know who they are.
So you guys will be in the bunker with him, but you won't know who you are, so he won't know who you are.
Exactly. And it all kind of makes sense this episode as to why he did the interviews. It wasn't for this next level bunker, a sanctuary. It was obviously for him to figure out who's the you, if there's any witches left alive. So that makes sense now. So it's really funny that, like, they gave them both, like, certain identities because they decided to choose Coco and like, mirror her personality off of Madison.
Which is, I feel like we said this early on. Where, like, she's like the second Madison.
Yeah,
it's so funny that we said that.
And we said, like, why is she, like, exactly, like, why would they create a character exactly like her? Yeah. But now I'm like, okay, now it's
to make it believable. Like, she's like the rich girl, whatever. She's like that, and she has, like, this, like, lonely, like, assistant
and she's
girl.
Like, gonna, like, bring her down because they also said, like, Mallory can't recognize her own power, so you
have to, like, break her down.
Yeah, you need to, like,
oh my god,
break her down for the next.
And then Coco's like, no, she's my best friend. I can't be mean to her. It was so cute. She's like, it's okay, Coco, I'll forgive you.
The one part that killed me too was the fact that, like, they were like, no shade, but, like, your family's gonna die.
Yeah, no, because she's like, what about my family? And they're like, no, they can't be here.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, because, like, they'll like show who you are. Like, you can't hide yourself from them.
But then you keep having to remember, like, they're all gonna, like, bring them back. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna go back in time. That's the plan. Yeah. But, you know, like, even in this moment, I was like, first of all, why can't they? And second of all, where the ever everybody else's families? Like, nobody cares about their families. Anyway, so then Coco and Mallory have a really cute moment. She, like, looks at Mallory and she says, I'm so sorry for anything that I'm about to do or say to you. She's like, I love you, and she's like, you've
helped me through everything. Like, you made me who I am today. Like, you made me feel like I was strong. Like, like, I lost it. I was like, this is the cutest thing ever.
And then she's like, I'll never let anything bad happen to
you. And I think if you somehow believe in past lives, there's something special about this moment, because it's like, in that world they felt a connection, but they didn't understand what it was, or like, you don't understand what it is, but there's some sort of connection. So it just makes it more beautiful if you believe in this idea that, like, you meet people along the way where, like, they have, like, a bigger kind of purpose too, that you don't know yet.
They came to your life for a reason. And Mallory just, like, loves her too. She's like, I love you too. She's like, even if the world ends, at least we'll be together.
No, like, actually, like, I cried.
And so Cordelia does that, like, blows smoke in their faces, does a spell, and then it cuts to 2015, I guess. No, it doesn't cut to 2015. It just cuts to, like, their new lives in LA.
You're right, and it picks up. Well, it doesn't pick up there, but they're just, like, in the car.
But, like, they're driving
again,
now,
hair salon.
And she's going to the hair salon again for the first time, I think.
Oh, this part was good too.
It makes sense, because I think that, like, she becomes Mr. Gallant goes on retainer after this happens. Like, this moment happens. So they're driving, like, they're speeding there, and I'm like, holy shit, this driver is like,
who's this
psycho.
Driver? Like, Uber driver, star rating 1.
So they show up, and of course, or not even of course, I was kind of gagged.
No, I was totally gagged.
Madison's the one that's fucking driving them. So she's the one that kind of directs them to go.
So you think she's watching them still.
Right.
But they don't know who she is, but she knows who they are.
Yes.
Okay.
The one question that I have now, and maybe it's the appropriate time to ask, is why was Mr. Gallant what was his story in this whole thing? Like, was he just, like, the gay hair salon person? He actually became one of the most useless characters of the entire season. If you really think about it.
Is it because he's connected to Evie?
Yeah, but who's Evie? But
she makes it to the outpost too, right?
Yeah, but for one, she barely makes it there, and secondly, like, why? like just to be like the gay
what
comedic
was
relief. Like there was no
connection
real
there?
connection there.
Why was he on the airplane?
Yeah. And then now I'm just trying to break things down a little bit quickly since we're here. Dinah Stevens had a son who shows up.
Yes, actually, you know what?
Purpose.
I wanted to mention him this last week too because I forgot to. But yeah, like what the F was his character?
Yeah.
He literally had no role.
No role. He was just like
a filler there.
He was literally a filler.
I didn't understand.
A cute filler, but like still. It was
so yeah,
random.
Speaking of Dinah Stevens, so as Madison like drops the girls off at the salon, she like looks to her left and like on the bus.
Yeah, it's like
Oprah it's basically like
show.
Oprah Winfrey like font,
Dinah
and then like
Stevens.
it's like Dinah Stevens show, and she's like smiling.
And Madison's like, bitch.
And I guess that's the moment that she realizes who Dinah was.
Yeah,
because before that she didn't know.
And like what she had done after her life had come that far.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It seems like, I mean, I guess the witches have been hiding in a swamp for this past little while.
Yeah.
So I understand they don't have the resources maybe to understand like what's been going on in the world. But I just think that like it doesn't make any sense that they wouldn't have realized that Dinah Stevens became like one of the biggest talk show hosts.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah. But I guess they didn't know that she shot up, like that she helped Michael come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, she makes that connection. She just like she assumes that that's what happens. Yeah. Anyway, so it cuts to the salon, and then we see Mr. Gallant for the very first time, and she blames the Uber driver. She's like, oh, she was driving like a psycho. And while she's getting her hair did, she turns to the side, and Brock is complimenting her.
Yeah.
So that's the very first time that they meet each other, and she's like, oh, hey boo, hey boo.
Okay, so is Brock supposed to be Mutt?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
at all.
I
Like they're completely different characters.
Yes, I know that you mentioned that as a potential connection, but I don't
nothing
think
to do with that. Okay, he's just her boyfriend that made it after that ended up doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Unless they didn't make that connection at all. Okay. I don't know what happens to Jeff, and they're in a different outpost, I think. So then it cuts back to the swamp, and Madison rolls in, and she was like, that bitch, like I knew who she was. So she comes for Dinah.
She's like, she must have sold like her soul if she's like a talk show host now.
Yeah, she's like, how the hell did she even get there? And Cordelia's like, true. And Myrtle is like, let me get the freaking wood, let's like burn her right now.
Yeah.
And
Myrtle,
yeah, she was so funny. But it all makes sense because Cordelia makes the connection that the reason why she had to become a talk show host is so she can like secure her spot in an outpost, like if the world ends. So she's just basically like securing herself and doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Which
so it's all about money.
You didn't have to become a fucking talk show host.
Yeah, you could have become.
Like,
exactly.
You could have literally done anything else.
Like win the lottery or something.
Yeah. But Cordelia does say at this point, like, don't worry, we'll exact our revenge at some point. Like,
yeah.
Just
like,
relax.
just hold on.
So then it quickly cuts back to the future, like the future time, I guess we can say.
In the outpost.
In the outpost, when Michael meets Mallory for the first time. She's like, there's something inside of me, and I don't know, like that whole interview.
When they glitched out,
And she glitches out on him, he glitches out on her, and she kind of fights back. And she says, like, what are you, or whatever. The funniest thing about this particular moment was he doesn't just kill her right away. You know what I mean? Like
because he doesn't know what she is yet, right?
I guess so.
But
at the same time, you can assume that she's a witch.
That's the thing. Like, if you knew she was something, just kill her right now to like get her out of the way. Like, I know.
Like, so anyway, I'm gonna run past that because it was kind of stupid. Yeah. But anyway, so then it cuts to the outside of the outpost, and like this is after the whole apocalypse or whatever, and you see the witches like literally crawling out of the ground.
So they had buried themselves.
She's been buried. They've been buried for like
a year. She said, yeah.
And so, like, I guess they were awoken by the feeling of, I guess, Michael coming back, or no, I think it was probably Mallory attacking. She was like, it's time.
Ignited something.
Yeah. So everybody's like crawling out, but not everybody. Like I said, it's only Myrtle, Madison, and Cordelia. Where the fuck is Misty? I'm
Queenie.
So annoyed.
Queenie's been dead. They're dead. Yeah.
So anyway, they walk through, and then they show up at the outpost. It all catches up. It's like whatever happens in that second episode or third episode, and they have the standoff, and then it continues. And Michael's basically like, everything's over. Like this, I
already won.
Yeah, the rivers are blood, and like all my insects are like coming for humanity. Like it's over. And Myrtle's like, stupid boy, don't you know that you can't have the real apocalypse unless you kill all the witches? And he's like, you know what, listen, I'll make a deal with you. If you fall to your knees right now, you can be like my subjects in hell. And they're like, fuck no, like I'm not gonna do that shit. And Dinah kind of comes forward,
she's
and
such a loser.
So useless. I really thought that she was.
Me now.
I seriously thought she was gonna have like a moment.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was actually gagged that she
disappointed.
didn't do shit all.
So then she stepped forward and she said, "Thanks for bringing me back, girl. However, you know that I'm all about like being on the right side.
Whoever
of,
wins,
like,
I'm with the winner."
Side. So then she like bows her head, and we get the first gag of the episode where she's like, I did bring you back to have like the voodoo power, but you're only half right." And then all you hear is the voice saying,
I knew it.
She needed the help of a powerful voodoo queen, but that ain't you, sis. I'm like, yes.
I'm like, chills. Like, I've been waiting all effing season for her to come back.
Marie effing Laveau is back in school.
Angela Bassett. I love her so much. And like, to your point, like, I don't think they put her name in the front.
Okay.
Thank God. I don't think they did. Because like for sure I would have noticed that and been like, yo, she's back.
And I don't even think they kept that really, really hush hush.
They did. Because like, there were interviews that she said, I'm not coming back. Like fully she said, I'm not on it. So either they added her at the last second. They were like, girl, just come back for like a minute, like to be on set.
It made sense.
It made total sense. And it was effing iconic. Like you needed her in the season. Yeah. Like.
That being said, she was fucking useless.
That was it. That was all. Like her just saying the cis line. It was like that.
Yeah, the cis line, and then her killing Dinah down.
Yeah.
But she was fucking useless otherwise.
Yeah.
Literally the most useless thing. And the thing that always gagged me during this whole thing was, like, you're telling me that Michael and Miss Mead are just gonna sit at the top of the stairs and let them go through some witch drama?
They're all like, go, continue on, guys. Let me watch your drama.
One's killing the other one. The other one's like good to go, and now you're gonna fight. Okay, now you're gonna fight. And then she's like out with the trash. So she does kill Dinah. Yeah. And then she's like out with the trash. Get Papa my God, bitch. And then she like dies.
So what was the deal that they had made? Because they made a deal with Papa Legba to get Marie Laveau out.
Yes.
That's how she's like back.
So that's how you find out. Yeah. There's a little bit of backtrack where you see her like punishing that chick from the very first one. I forget
like the Kathy Bates character, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The slave owner.
Yeah. But she's punishing her, but she's like not a good punisher. She's not good at like attacking people. She's not an evil person.
I mean, she's pretty mean.
She's bad, but whatever. And what's her name? Jamie Brewer's character, Nan, comes in.
Yeah.
And she was like, Papa Legba's like pretty pissed at you because you're fucking
like you're weak AF.
And
she's like, I'm the best in here, okay? Like Nan's like feeling herself,
and
okay?
Cordelia basically says like, we made a deal, like if you can like switch out for like the one who
tag team
out
come for a minute.
Dinah Stevens because she's waste. So that's how she gets out. Anyway, so it cuts back to the outpost, and Mead is over it. So she pulls out her like machine gun hand.
She's like, time is up, bitches.
Like, we're done talking right now. So she pulls it out and she tries to shoot everybody, but then Cordelia is like, bah! And she like fucking makes her head explode.
Like, she's like, error. Yeah. And then like she just like collapses.
I'm like, couldn't you guys do that from the get-go? And also, couldn't Cordelia do this while they were in the house at that moment?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, just, you made it look so easy.
Because it probably was.
Anyways.
I don't even want to go back to last episode and how everybody got murdered. But let's
just roll with it.
Let's just roll with it. That's going to be like the theme of this episode. And so then Madison takes the gun out of like off the floor, and then she shoots Michael down, and he's like dead.
Dead.
Like he's
dead,
like in quotes.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite moments because like the way she did it, like it was a very Tony Montana like Scarface. Yes. She was like, she got them, she was like, and like she was like spraying him against the wall. Like it was so freaking badass. I loved it.
And then Mallory now needs to go back in time. So they're like, let's go fight a tub. We're going to go fight a tub. So they run upstairs. But the one thing that kind of killed me was Cordelia is like, no, you need to stay down here because that's like bullets are not going to stop him.
He'll come back.
I'm like, guys, can't you just like smash
him?
Like
just cut his head off or something.
Cut his head off. You guys cut him into little pieces. Yeah. You guys are like, we have no time. Like, run. Like,
we have 20 minutes till he wakes up. No, like, just murk him.
All the time. Just kill him and hold him down.
There's really no one else. Like, Mead's dead. He's dead.
Meanwhile, like Marie Laveau can put a little protection spell around him. Like, nope. She's just going to run upstairs with you guys.
It was one of the moments that I was like, guys, you guys did not plan this out.
Yeah.
It seemed like everyone was just like in the room and like nobody had a plan.
Yeah, no one had a plan. You literally brought Marie Laveau to do what? To like freaking say a line, chop a girl's neck off, and then like die.
Yeah.
Like literally die. Yeah. She dies like 5 minutes later. I was so annoyed. I was also kind of annoyed by the fact that they didn't stop him from like coming back.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody runs upstairs, and as they're running upstairs, Mallory is like running to the front, and freaking Brock goes and stabs her.
Yeah.
This was such a random moment.
It was very random, but I felt like a low point had to come any second. So I didn't expect it to be her, but it was just so lit for the girls. I was like, okay, something's gonna happen now. That's gonna make us feel like, oh fuck, we're gonna lose.
It makes sense why everything kind of falls apart.
Yeah, it has to fall apart,
honestly,
right? To get better.
I would have believed if she like freaking tripped and like hit her head on a freaking something.
I just didn't understand why Brock was back there. Like, it just felt a little cheesy.
You know, and that's the thing too. Like, I think about everything that we said in the very first beginning of our podcast, and like the theories of who and everybody's like roles. What were they gonna be? Like, bringing back Brock for this moment, I was like, really, guys? Like, that's so pointless. So anyway, He
stabs her.
And
she's like pretty bad. Like she's like bad.
She's basically gonna die. Yeah. She's like, I'm dead now. And Myrtle gets pissed. She like
Cordelia's like, can you do the spell? She's like, like she could barely do it when she was alive. How is she gonna do it when she's like near death?
She's literally near death. And so as they're trying to bring her back to life, she's like trying to blow in her mouth or whatever. She like does her spell, and she's like not coming back 100%. She's like,
and you know. You just know.
You just
realize in this moment.
But you know who would have fixed this really quickly? Misty fucking Day. Okay? Just gonna say that right now. Misty fucking Day could have brought her back over right quick. And so actually she wouldn't have. She had to like plant her into like the ground and stuff. Anyway, whatever. I'm over it. So they're trying to bring her back. She's kind of like dozy, like she's kind of like dazed, and all the while downstairs, Michael is coming back to life.
So Madison stays back in this moment, right? When all the girls when all the girls are like, oh, okay, like let's go, like do the spell. She's like, you know what, guys? I'm gonna stay back and I'm gonna hold him off. She literally says, I'm gonna hold him off. To me, hold means a minimum of 15 minutes. Anything less is embarrassing, girl. Holding off is like 15 minutes. You lasted 0.10 seconds. Like, you didn't even hold him off.
First of all, as he's putting himself back together, the blood is like going back into his body. Yeah. Her back is like turned.
Yeah, she's like texting or whatever. Like, she's like like the freaking Antichrist is right there, and you're not
this
even
is your
watching.
only job. Literally your only job. It's all you needed to do. You didn't do anything else. Nothing else. And you're telling me these witches couldn't like practice some sort of like protection spell?
No, you're right. Like some
spell,
sort of
nothing.
Like they could create like a thing around him where like it holds him for longer, like 20 minutes. like something.
5 minutes even, girl. Like I don't even 15 minutes is a little much. 5 minutes maybe. So anyway, she literally hears him stand up and she's like, oh, I guess I'm going back to hell. She turns around.
She's like, oh, back to
hell for me. And then he blows her head off.
Back to retail.
Yeah. It was just like, okay,
and that was it. And then he just like made her disappear. I was like, what, girl? You didn't even try to do a spell.
Like, you literally finished this whole season saying that you wanted to fight for your life.
Yeah, it was a letdown. No, don't get me wrong. I loved Madison this episode. Like, she was amazing. She had her freaking Scarface moment. But like, girl, this one thing, like
that's all you need
they
to
just
do.
made everyone in this next like 4 minutes. They made them all kind of like they're just like running around. They're like, oh, like stab him, punch him, slap him.
And
like,
it's the same thing that they did. I was having like PTSD from like the last episode where like they made all of them so useless in the same moment. Yeah. Like none of them could like.
They didn't have a plan.
They couldn't even like transport around, like nothing. Like, they couldn't throw him outside, like throw his body outside of the bunker so then he can't get back in. Like literally anything in the world would have been better and easier. So anyway, it just makes it more higher stakes, I guess. So as he's going up the stairs and Cordelia's trying to bring her back, he bumps into Marie Laveau. And she's like, no. And she like puts down like 3 pieces of powder and she's like, voodoo, you can't come through. Bye.
He's like, LOL, you think voodoo's gonna stop me?
And then
she's like, yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It literally doesn't do shit.
He's literally, he puts his hand in her body and like holds on her heart. And then Coco comes from the back. She's like, hey. I'm gonna get you now. And his hand's still in her like body with her heart. He's like, bitch, I'm gonna get you too. Like, it was a joke.
It was a joke. You're telling me you brought back the queen of voodoo from the dead and she couldn't stop the Antichrist?
All their powers were just stripped. Like they weren't doing anything.
They didn't have any powers. Like, since one of these witches that powerless?
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that they couldn't stop him from coming past, yet he needed Dinah Stevens to open up the freaking door in last episode? I don't understand. Clearly,
he's laughing at her face. Yeah. He's laughing at her face, being like, "LOL, voodoo's not gonna stop me." But you needed voodoo to open this damn door last week. So this is what I mean. It's a little
it was stupid. And then, so anyway, she gets like her heart gets like taken away. It didn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, I love you, Angela Bassett. Why did you come back for this dumb thing? It's just stupid. Whatever.
I'm so glad she came back, though. I have to say, I'm so glad she was back.
I was just happy to see her. Yeah. So she gets killed, and as she's dying, she's like, "No, I have another plan. That white bitch behind you's gonna stab you." And so she stabs her with like a freaking kitchen knife.
Yeah, like literally a butter knife.
And I'm like, this was your backup plan? Like, this, guys, this was your backup plan? Great. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with it, as we said. We're just gonna run with it. So then he takes the heart out of Marie. He eats it, and it was like, oh, now does he have voodoo power? Like, is it irrelevant? Yeah, like, yes, it is. It's definitely irrelevant. And he snaps Coco's neck. He's like, bye, bitch. So he kills her, and then it's back to Cordelia and Mallory and Myrtle, and they're like, wake up,
okay,
bitch.
this girl's like dead, basically.
Hello? Yeah. And she's like, sorry.
I mean, we all know what's gonna happen, right? We're all waiting for the moment where Cordelia's gonna be like, I gotta just kill myself. We know it's gonna happen, and I expected it to happen, and I wanted it to happen because I feel like you have to see it. Like, she's really sacrificing herself for the future. Like, you gotta see it.
But so she's like, also taking a gamble, because if she dies, then like literally it's over.
But
right?
that's it. That's all they have. Like, they don't have she's literally dead in a bathtub. Like, there's nothing else right at this point. Even Myrtle was like, darling, we are fucked. Like, but she even says like, we're out of options.
You know what would have been even more interesting though, if Brock was irrelevant, because he was, and she got to the tub and she still can't go back, and that's what I thought was gonna happen, because it's her own internal struggle that she can't get it to it. Yeah, like Cordelia can't do it. But you've just
inserted this random ass factor that stabbed her, and that's why she can't do it.
And she even says,
so what was the whole thing with the Anastasia storyline last week?
She even says it last episode. She's like, no, like, she won't have enough power until I'm dead. So okay, you weren't holding a knife to your throat to kill yourself as she's doing the final spell. So either way, if Brock was alive, whatever, like, who knows if you were going to even do that in the first place. So anyway, she goes to...
she's like, Myrtle, goodbye.
She says...
And then Myrtle's like, she doesn't say anything. Myrtle's like, huh? Like, girl, you know what she's going to do. Like,
you know what she's going to do. So Cordelia meets...
And then she's like, Michael, where are you? She's like, goes looking for him.
So she meets him in the hallway, and then she has like a very...
Oh yeah, this was amazing. Moment. This is epic.
And she talks him through it, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. You guys are dead. And she says, like, you think that this is going to make you happy? Like, killing us? Like, you're never going to be happy, because like, you don't have the ability to be satisfied with what you have. My best line is this best line, so I'm going to save it for later. And then she decides to kill herself, and then like she falls like down the stairs, and as she kills herself, Mallory comes back to life, and she's like,
it was really cool, because like
spell real quick.
Like, just before that, he's holding the knife, right? And I think she takes the knife from him. Like, she like gets her powers, she takes it from him, and then she cuts her own throat, right? Or she stabs herself.
Because she's like, I'm not going to let even you kill me.
Of course.
I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like she took it back. And she's like, damn it. Like, she won't even give him the satisfaction.
For sure.
Which is kind of amazing.
And then like instantly, Mallory's like, oh, she's like,
and there is this amazing moment where it shows her body like lying on the floor in a profile shot. And at the same time, Mallory's like kind of falling backwards in the water. And it like keeps cutting back and forth between the present and the future. And finally, like, it starts back off in 2015 at the murder house. So we're taking back 5 years back. Yeah. And so it's right after.
Did you know what this was when they did it?
The flashback part and how it was going to happen, or what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, when they go to 2015.
I knew that it was going to go back to the murder house, because like that's where he was.
Okay, but this is like the reversal of time, right?
Yes.
Did you know that was what it was?
Yeah.
Okay,
like he was successful. Okay, like she was successful in like going back. I mean, she was able to go back to see Anastasia. So I'm like, 2015 is not a big deal.
Yeah.
So they go back, and
Constance has like another
she has like another moment.
A really big moment.
We get freaking Jessica Lange coming through one more time.
Yeah.
And this is right after Michael kills a priest, which was the last straw, I think, for Constance. Yeah. I think right after that she basically kills herself, right?
In that universe.
So in this universe, Constance comes in. She
just loses it on Michael.
Her mind.
She's
and
like, I don't even want you anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I hate you. You're awful.
Like, you're never going to change no matter what I do. Like, I'm cursed as a mother, but like, I can't even fix you. Like, this is over.
And
we are breaking up.
It is sad because, like, you do realize, once again, we do mention it a few times, that Michael himself is not a grown man. He is a teenager, even like a young boy, trapped in an adult's body. So all the things that he ends up doing is kind of like infantile. Even him trying to like fight the witches and get them all killed, like it's a very immature thing to want to get done, but he wants it, and like that's just his mindset.
And especially in this moment, he's like playing video games.
Yes,
he sounds like a little boy. He's like, I don't know why you're doing it. I just doing it. I'm just a kid. Make him do it. He's like that. She's like, no, go.
And she says, she's like, you were a child, you were my like grandson, but you're not him now. He's in there somewhere, but you're not him. And she's like, this is who you are, and you can do whatever the fuck you want, but not in my house.
Like,
get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
So he literally he chokes her, and then he can't do it because she's like, you're a fucking coward too. And then he like leaves. So he runs away. But this is the one thing that I was trying to figure out. This is not how it ends in the last universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not at all.
So why was it any different? She literally goes to a different parallel universe.
Yeah, because like he dies there.
So this parallel universe, the last one, was a fail.
Yes.
So this one is like a next one where like they have an argument and she kicks him out. Is what you're saying.
And then Mallory kills him.
Right.
Right there.
Right. But that's the thing.
And that she doesn't take him to the murder house.
But there wasn't even a moment that we saw in like the original story where Constance is like, I kicked him out the next day.
No, but that doesn't happen.
But why?
Do you know what I mean? Because in that universe, she puts up with him. She believes in him. She still like has faith in him.
You're saying Constance herself is a little different.
For sure.
But for no reason. Just I think parallel universes. Like she's a little bit more aggressive in this one.
Yeah, where in that one she kills herself. In this one, she's like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, I'm not dealing with you.
Angry. Got it.
For sure. Like she's just done.
Okay.
Like she's done with.
So as he's leaving, he gets hit by a car. And then
like Range Rover girl.
like she like the camera turns and it's Mallory.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And like bitch.
She puts that shit in park. She puts that shit in reverse and she like goes back.
She rolls right backwards. She runs over him like 3 times over. Yeah. And he's not like a pancake. He's basically like still like full bodied. Yeah. And he's still kind of awake because obviously he's the Antichrist, so it's hard to kill him. But also I'm like, how did you know even killing him, like running him over 3 times is gonna kill him? You know what I mean? Like, watch him die. Like, watch him literally disappear into nothing.
But the best part of it all, I think, is like at
this last moment where she sees Constance and they kind of like wink at each other, like, and then she drives away. She's like, "Yeah, get him."
She's like, "You got this."
And he's dying in Constance's arms.
But I think it was such a beautiful ending for her, right? Like Mallory's giving it to her to like finish the job. Finally. Put an end to this.
Because I guess
taking him to the house.
She does know the whole story via Madison, right? So she's like, true, like you went through a lot of shit.
And like with all her other kids, she took them to the house, right? To like stay
except
alive.
Except for Nan, because you couldn't. Yeah. R.I.P. Nan. Or no, not Nan. The other one.
Yeah.
Addie. And so he's dying there on the road, dying in Constance's arms on the road, and Constance is like, oh, poor boy, whatever. She's kind of sad. And then he's like, take me to the house so I can be with you forever. And she's like, go to hell. And then she lets him die on the street.
Best moment.
Bye, bitch.
Best moment. It was such a beautiful moment to see in this parallel universe that how she's strong. And it's almost like she knew too. Like, if I put this guy back into this house, this shit's gonna still go bad. So I'm just gonna kill him right now.
He's gonna kill all the ghosts now. Yeah. After that. So it was kind of an amazing moment, and it was a great way to end off even Constance Langdon's character too. She gets to win in this universe, which is kind of cool. And so then we get an amazing kind of voiceover from Mallory. So this is now her living in 2015, like through like this universe now.
At this point, she's reverse time whatever.
She's reverse time in the sense that like now we're in this new parallel universe, and she's gonna like live through this one. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like what I mean is she doesn't go what she did with Anastasia, where like she was gonna go there and then like dip. She literally was gonna go there and stay. So Mallory stays.
This is the way the world continues.
And it continues in a new way. So she says, nothing truly ever dies. We're all made out of energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one person to another, which is kind of amazing.
Yes.
I love the line that they gave her. also like shout out to Billie Lourd and her story of like her family dying this past like couple years. Hearing her say it gave me shivers just because like I feel like they wrote it for her specifically, 100%. And 100%. I really like had a very heartfelt moment for her as an actress to hear those lines come out of her mouth.
It's like she took the energy from her mom and her grandma, like, my God, and now it's like in her for sure.
It was beautiful. Beautiful. So then she sees so it shows Mallory, and she's coming to see Robichaux for the very first time, and she sees Cordelia, and she like gives her the biggest
and
hug.
like she even seems more lit. She's like more like happy.
She's happier. And because she's from the future and she knows, but she can't change anything. And she says it.
She's like, I know everything now, but they don't know anything. Like,
right. And the one thing that we didn't get, which I want to ask you about, is we don't ever get a Mallory origin story. What did you think of that?
I wanted it.
Because I know you wanted it.
Because I wanted it. But by the end of the episode, I was like, I'm fine with it. It's okay. Yeah.
Because all we really learned in how she got to the school is her parents saw her floating one day, and then they like sent her to school.
And I knew it wasn't gonna fit in the finale because there was gonna be too much going on. So that's why I was like, I know it's not gonna fit in episode 10. So like, when are they gonna put it? They didn't put it in there.
I would love to know our rewinders' thoughts on whether or not they were okay with the fact that we didn't get a Mallory. She didn't get one
because I feel like everyone got an origin.
Everyone got an origin story. Like she
even
got
Jeff and Mutt. Like
she got the least origin story, and she was the one who beat the Antichrist. So it was kind of random. She did get I guess an epilogue, but anyway. She does get to go through the entire thing. So she's like, in this universe, like Zoe's alive and well. She's teaching the next generation of witches. She does say that Myrtle, R.I.P., doesn't come back.
That one broke my heart because she's like, Myrtle, like Cordelia didn't bring her back because she didn't need her. Like,
I'm like, but you didn't need her, but she's cool. Like, just leave her there.
Yeah.
And Queenie's still alive, and it was kind of amazing because she's like, let's get lit, I'm about to go to LA, which is exactly what she was about to do in hotel, and then she was going to show up at the hotel. So literally she came at the perfect moment.
She comes in and she's like, I'm going to LA, I'm going to be on like The Price is Right, like whatever, and then she's like, I'm staying at this really cool hotel, it's like kind of old but kind of new in downtown. And then Mallory's like, don't stay downtown. And like I felt like every time I went to LA, my friends would be like, don't stay downtown because it's like kind of like busy. And it's busy and it's kind of shady.
There's a murder house, murder hotel
and so
there.
she was like, don't stay downtown. She's like, okay, cool, I'll stay in like Venice or whatever.
So she gets to keep her alive, which is kind of amazing. And she says it's interesting to see how much power you have to change someone's fate. Like you're literally walking through someone's life and telling them that they can like make better decisions. And she, the one that killed me was, she's like, I know where Madison is, but we're gonna bring her back later.
Like we'll let her sit there for a little bit
longer. I'm like, you guys just want to pay her one more time. Like freaking Emma Roberts couldn't come back. And then the doors open, the front of Robichaux, and Nan and Misty Day come back.
Oh wow, Misty Day. Girl's back now.
She is. Oh, okay.
Back from her tour.
And it's kind of weirdly explained, but like I said, I'll run with it this episode. She's like, Mallory explains that she's like besties with all the demons in the underworld now. And
that part was so effing cheesy. It was like, first of all, she sounded like Lauren Conrad in like the beginning of every Hill season. She's like, me and Steven, we're not talking anymore, but me and Kristen, we're like here. It was like that. And she was like, and she's like, yeah, me and the demons are like good. Like you really get credibility when like you kill the devil or like the Antichrist. So like they all love me.
She's like, everyone wanted me to do me a favor. And it was really cute because Nan still wants to fuck off. She literally
Nan walks in. She's like, here's Misty. I brought your girl back. They're like, oh my God, Nan, stay. And she's like, nah. She's like, I'm gonna go back. I have so much fun over there. They're like, oh.
It's so jokes.
She's so savage.
The fact that she does not give a
She's like, I'm living my best life in hell. Like, leave me alone.
It was so funny. But she does kind of give Mallory like a little wink wink. Did you notice that? Like,
why?
I guess she's like, thanks.
I know what you did.
She's like, I know what you did. So yeah, she kind of does thank Mallory, and I wasn't sure. Let us know if you guys saw that like kind of like quick glance, because I think she does realize.
No, but you're right, because it would make sense. It would make sense if like Nan knew everything that Mallory did, because she's part of like the
underworld. Part. And so she's like, so what does this mean for the future of the world? Like, you know what I mean? And then it cuts to like kind of like the final sequence, which is like really interesting. And I really wanted to talk about this because it shows the two people, I forget their names now because it's been so long.
Tim and Ashley.
Tim and Ash. Oh, there you go. And it shows Tim grabbing coffee.
So right before we get into the sequence, this was the part that I was missing because yes, like girl power, I'm all for it. I love it.
Give me my love story, damn it.
No, not even love story. I think you need the balance of this male energy as well. As much as you have this female energy in the universe, you need the male energy as well. And I was missing that. I was like, okay, we get it. Like the females won, but how do we coexist in this world? Right. So I was missing that side.
Right. And to your point, we never got the warlocks back then.
Exactly.
So
we never got the warlocks.
Absolutely.
So of course, as soon as it cut to Tim and Ash, I was like, oh my God, here it is. He is the next generation of like this male energy where like he's gonna be different. Right. Do you know what I mean?
But his scene different though. Too.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah. But I needed this scene to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it picks up like I think Venice or whatever. They're like protesting.
So Ash is like I guess protesting, and Tim bumps into her, and he gets coffee all over himself, and then they start talking. They fall in love, whatever. It's like a cute moment. Yeah. Because we're like, I know you, and I know you too, and you're gonna get together anyway in this like universe, which is kind of cool. And so he does say something very interesting. He says it's nice to meet someone who's going to change the world. Yeah, and I was like, oh boy, something's gonna happen. And 1 year later, they have unprotected sex and they're popping out a baby.
Yeah, they get pregnant.
These guys are young. Like they definitely did it like right after that coffee date. And so then it cuts to 3 years later, and now they have like a 3-year-old kid. Yeah. And she says a few things, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. They're sitting in the car.
So annoying.
It's like he's so annoying. He never stops. He's so angry all the time. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And then they open the door. Sure enough, they see blood.
And like even when they got home, the sky looked freaking orange. First of all, I was like, what kind of Cali sunset is this? There was crows.
The crows. It's exactly
and then they kept saying the house was hot. I was like, what?
Which is exactly what happened with the murder house. And so they go inside, and it's the same shots that we saw in the very first season of Murder House, where it's like the blood on the wall. They walk toward the thing, and like the glass breaks and the nanny's dead on the floor, and the kid is like rocking. But it's not Michael. It's like this next mixed kid.
Yeah,
like,
he was so cute.
He was so cute, but was also the new Antichrist. Yeah. And then they get a knock on the door, and we see the Satanists come in, like the Black Pope and Miss Mead
is there again.
She's like, "We here," and I'm like, "Oh fuck."
You're like, "Hello," and then it was like cut to black.
Cut to black. End of season.
And that's how it ended. I think it all makes sense. I think as long as you have good in the world, there's always going to be evil. It just made sense.
And that's what she does say. She says, listen, like the fight is never over between good and evil. Like it's always going to keep going. So it was a very interesting and cool way. Like, yes, we got our happy ending, but you have to understand that there's always going to be a reason why there has to be a bit of a balance between like the evil and the good. Like they can't have like a billion wishes together. Like conquering the world. They need like an Antichrist. Yeah. Which I don't know. Like, what do you think that means for the rest of the season? A lot of people are saying, like, does this mean that it's going to be like this cyclical thing where they're constantly fighting, or is he going to break his mold? Because now, if you really think about season 10, let's say we're going to do season 10 and talk about like the next season. Season 9.
Yeah.
Season 9. What do you expect of it? Like, he's literally gone through every single storyline from throughout history. It's either he goes backwards.
I mean, I feel like he can still think of something.
I don't know.
I feel like he'll still think of something.
He's done politics. He did the end of the world. Like, what
have they done? Zombies? I know they did it like for a second in this season, but like not really.
And I don't know like what purpose they would have, like a full season of zombies. I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
I don't doubt that he'll come up with something. I just don't see it. I don't see this story connecting to next season.
But also, like how do you top the apocalypse?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you change the story so much that it's topping the apocalypse? So
there are some reports,
speculations,
with fans writing that they think that season 9 will be a continuation from season 8. So it's gonna leave off with that last scene. I don't know if I'm down for that. And I'm always down for them to switch it up.
Yeah, and it's only because, like I was saying, how do you top a
and like we've been through it. The Witches won, or like we've been through all of that. Now, give us a break, switch to something else. Let's see new characters.
But that's what I mean. How do you switch to something else?
They can. I have complete faith in him that he can do something.
How do you go backwards? I don't know. I feel like this was like the tops of the tops. Like,
then they should have ended it off like that. They should have done the series finale. Yeah, so they have ideas, I'm sure.
Okay, we'll see.
Recap roundups.
Best moment.
So my best moment was when Mallory sees Cordelia for the very first time after she comes back in 2015.
That's so
and she
cute.
gives her a hug. I was like, yes. It was so beautiful. And like, you know, you can see it in her face that she was just so happy to see her alive, and like now she succeeded in what her challenge and her mission was. Like, it was a very powerful moment. I know it's such a small thing to point out in this gigantic crazy episode, but it was a very heartfelt moment for me to see, like, you know, Mallory succeeding and like seeing Cordelia for the last time or for the first time again.
My best moment is, I think, the reversal of time, where we jump into the murder house, where Constance decides, get the F out of my house, to Michael, and then Mallory comes and runs him over. I just love that whole sequence, and I love how they ended off that whole murder house with Constance. He's like, take me back to the house. She's like, no, you're gonna die here, and this is the end of you. And I just loved all of that. It was so good.
Really cool.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
My WTF moment, I think, most shocking probably is the Tim and Ashley like ending scene, because I just didn't think they'd put it in there,
like finding the new Antichrist and even wrapping them back in.
Wrapping them back in, and then even showing that their kid is like the new Antichrist. I was like, what the F? So yeah, that's
crazy. It's interesting to think that even with that Michael, or they were chosen to be a part of the next generation.
And I don't know what that means.
Like, what does that mean? That
it's like he implanted himself there,
or would they have created, because in that particular world, would they have created like the next like Mallory? You know what I mean? To like save humanity. Because in this new humanity, or in this version, like they create the Antichrist, but who knows? Because they did say
that would have been cool.
Yeah,
if
it
they
did
been
like
that.
The other side of it. You
like
know what I mean?
Her parents were Tim and Ash.
Oh god, next season's gonna be like to like time parallel universe. My WTF moment is the whole thing with Marie Laveau. Mostly because I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I did not expect you to come back. I was so shocked and gagged and very happy to see her. Also, I was very annoyed and gagged that she just dies after like 5 minutes. But cool. Whatever. I'm gonna run with it, right?
MVP. My MVP is obviously gonna go all the witches, but specifically Cordelia. Myrtle.
Cordelia.
For like effing doing everything this season. Cordelia Myrtle, for like sacrificing herself at the end, because Fiona would have never done that. And then
that's true. Did you notice that her hair at the very end kind of had like the swoop of Fiona? Like she looked more like Fiona in that very last scene when she kills herself. And I was like, I wonder if they did that on purpose to kind of really truly mirror her to her mom.
Yeah, and then of course Mallory for like saving the effing world. like.
Yeah, I mean,
I took like all your.
I was like, damn, girl.
I had to. It was finale.
Mine is gonna go to Mallory, but also to Coco. Shout out to freaking Coco.
Yes, you're right, Coco.
Literally, like, I think that her story in this whole season was really, really cool and powerful
and surprising.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, we were all talking about her being the calorie counter queen, and you know, people wanted her to be the supreme. We were reading your comments, and people were like, freaking Mallory or freaking Coco for supreme. Like, we're so down for that. But like, she literally played one of the biggest roles in this entire season to keep Mallory alive, and I love their friendship. Like, it makes me so happy. MVP for sure.
Yeah.
LVP.
My LVP is gonna go to Miss Mead, because I feel like they glowed her up so much all season.
Right.
And then when it came to the finale, she did shit all. Like, she died in 0.5 seconds.
I mean, she was a robot. You mean the robot version of her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, Miss Mead.
Miss Mead, yeah.
The robot.
Yeah.
Robot Mead.
So, like, in the end, like in the finale, like, she didn't really do anything.
But then again, technically in the 2015, like new parallel universe,
that she comes back,
she'll be the one that like kind of starts it back up again.
Yeah,
you know
I guess.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So she's the one
but
that.
I still feel like in that battle, she didn't do anything.
Yeah. True. She was basically pointless.
Yeah.
You know who else was pointless? My LVP goes to Misty freaking Day. Bye, bitch. You go on tour with Stevie Nicks. Do whatever you want. Yeah. But I can't believe that you did it for the freaking finale of this show. Yeah. I was pretty disappointed that the writers couldn't find her a better, even if it was just to have her to die 2 seconds later. Like, literally, they did it to Marie Laveau. Why could they not have done it to Missy Day?
Just have everyone there.
Of scheduling issues? Like, Lily Ray, what are you doing with your life right now that you can't fucking be in the show? I was just annoyed that they it was a very sloppy writing to be like, oh yeah, she's with Stevie Nicks, and now she's not gonna come back for the freaking Apocalypse season finale. Like, it was kind of stupid.
The best line. Take it. So you say
my best line is from Cordelia, her final little moment, and she says, "Failure is when you've lost any semblance of hope. You get to watch me die, but you won't find it satisfying. Satan has one son, but my sisters are legion, motherfucker. And then
yeah, it was
fucking
so good.
slits her, or no, yeah, she kills herself.
It was so good. I had a few actually, but okay. So Marie Laveau, first one. Was that one. She needed the help of a powerful voodoo queen, but that ain't you, sis. I was like, oh my god. And then Madison, Tony Montana moment.
Yes.
When she's like, sorry about your little toy, bitch. Like she shoots him.
Yeah.
Coco, and she's like, die again, fuckface. And then like she dies like right there too. Like she's not even done saying fuckface, and he's like already killed her. And then Mallory's a queenie. She's like, no, you don't want to stay in downtown. I started dying because literally all my friends said like, do not stay in downtown. Yeah.
Such good lines.
So many good lines. So many good moments.
What a great
I want to watch
season.
it again for sure.
Such a good show. I would love to know your guys' thoughts for the finale. We obviously loved it. So let us know in the comments below. And thanks for sticking through this season. I think it was one of our most successful podcasts actually ever. You guys are so engaged. Thank you so much for coming through. And I hope you guys check out the rest of our stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us.
And I have to say, you're right. Like our fans were there. I mean, they might not be even our fans. They might hate us. I don't know. And just listen to us. But like their comments were on point. There were so many moments where we were sort of confused as to what things meant.
And y'all clarified that shit.
You guys came in like hard and like it was amazing with the facts. And I was like, okay, like I am learning so much. Thank you. I hope we were able to like entertain you guys still and like make you guys laugh a little. So we'll be back for the AHS season 9.
Yeah. So
next
see you next
year.
year. Whoa.
But that's it for us for American Horror Story.
Yeah, but check us out on all of our socials and keep in touch. Bye.
Bye.